In a time where inflation is skyrocketing, the US dollar is losing its power, and trust in the economy is at an all-time low, people were outraged at the 2024 Met Gala. Displaying vast amounts of wealth in a period of social unrest, feeling like the elite are in the capital while the rest are in District 12, where you can starve to death in safety. This topic is so intriguing to me because hasn't it always been this way? Those that are rich, those that are poor.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
But something is different this time around. And I want to get into that as well as showcase some beautiful outfits because my channel is still based on fashion and travel content with an emphasis on jewelry. What is the Met Gala? Let's begin there. The Met Gala is an annual fundraising event for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's. Invitations are only granted to those that are deemed culturally relevant, aka the elite. One ticket goes for $75,000 US. And they raised $26 million roughly this year. I honestly thought that number was gonna be a bit higher. Given this information, the question still stands. Why are people so upset at this year's Met Gala? Behind the glitz and glamour, over 1,000 anti-war protesters rallied. Regardless of intention, this year's Met Gala felt like a real-life Hunger Games. As of May 8th, over 36,000 lives were lost in the Israel-Gaza war. There's still war in Ukraine, the Yemen humanitarian crisis. And there's a cost of living crisis that is impacting the entire world as we recover from the global pandemic. I can understand why $75,000 to preserve some clothes in a museum would ruffle some feathers. Income inequality since the 1970s has only increased exponentially. And I'm probably about to say these guys' names wrong, but let me look at it. Thomas Piketty and Emmanuel Says began to publish statistics back in 2003 using IRS data to go over income inequality. And stay with me, I'm about to go over some numbers, but it's gonna be really quickly, I promise. This chart does leave out some data since people who don't file taxes don't appear. However, even with the left out data, we can see that the gap only worsens. Do you see how big that gap is? Income concentration is back at 1920 levels. That's not good. Due to a banking crisis in the 1920s, small businesses could no longer operate because they couldn't secure loans. People lost their capital in stock market crashes, and with consumer debt so high, people simply could not afford to buy anything, thus weakening the economy. The wealthiest Americans saw their share of income increase from 24% to 34%, while the rest of people, also known as the 93% of people, saw their income decrease. In 2023, big banks fell. As of right now, people are carrying record levels of debt, and yet CEOs and shareholders are still making a profit. Sounds familiar? We are turning the clock back and repeating history, which actually reminds me of the theme. The official dress code of the Met being the Garden of Time. Sounds beautiful and all Mother Nature, right? Wrong! No! The theme was based on a J.G. Ballard's tale, a little synopsis. A count and countess, aka the elite, had these magical flowers, I guess, that could turn back time. And you may ask, why are they turning back time? Why do they want to slow down and manipulate time? It's because an angry mob of working class people were coming to get them. However, when the working class people arrived, all they saw was the house, this beautiful villa that these elite people lived in ruins, and two statues protected by a wall of thorns and these poisonous belladonna. Kinda ironic, right? Let's take a little pause to see how people displayed this theme. Outfits such as this beautiful dress designed by Balmain, worn by Tyla to depict the sands of time. This dress was adjusted throughout the night with slits and eventually became a mini dress, similar to how sand in an hourglass timer must fade away. I actually think this look was very creative. I've never seen anyone capture a material like sand in this way. Zendaya, now known as a fashion icon, wore 2 vintage dresses to depict the theme. One John Galliano dress under Givenchy and another by Alexander McQueen. Honestly, I think after seeing Zendaya in pieces such as the Metal Mugler suit, this felt lackluster. La Roche is a gem in finding iconic pieces, so it can be hard when the only competition is yourself. And then we have Wisdom. I don't typically get excited by male fashion at the Met Gala. It always feels like they could have done more. But this look made me pause and double take. Wearing Robert Moon, a lesser known designer, the bold red and rose to represent the flower in the story which delays time. The burned effect shows the decay and disintegration of time and wealth. Everything with time will erode away. And erode away it will. There have been calls for a celebrity blackout. Essentially, people want to block and ignore celebrities that are not using their platforms to showcase real life world events, or rather world tragedies. Prime example being Hailey Bailey, who posted a photo or video in this luxurious dress with the background being, "Let them eat cake."
Blocking celebrities is now the latest trend in social media, including high-profile celebrities such as Kim Kardashian, who has already lost millions of followers. This all stems from a recent publicity event at the Met Gala in which influencer Hailey Bailey said, "Let them eat cake," which, as you know, if you ever took a history class back in college, that is a reference to the famous Queen Marie Antoinette, who essentially belittled her peasants and said that she was better to them due to being an elitist with a lot of money. And this has caused massive outlash over social media due to the fact there's a massive wage disparity in the world today, with influencers making millions and millions of dollars to post on social media, and everyday people simply struggling to make ends meet and pay their bills and get a job. The effect has caused many celebrities to lose massive amounts of followers, hoping that celebrities will lose a lot of their income as a result. What do you guys think about this whole trend about blocking celebrities on social media?
There's now an apology video up after the debacle, and several people have long lists of who to block. And you can decide whether you agree with this or not. However, it is very clear that society is fed up. I want to do these videos from time to time on fashion news, and this felt like a great place to start. I definitely want to grow in the fashion sphere. However, these are topics that I have to be mindful of. Even once you get to a point where you have wealth and your job requires a certain level of visibility, how do you stop yourself from appearing tone deaf? Are people exempt from scrutiny if they continue to use their voice and platform, even if they show up to events such as the Met? I want you guys to answer down below, and hopefully we can have an open conversation about this. That's all I have for now though, so I'll see you in the next video. Bye.